Finally, the Newcastle United supporters have got what they have wanted for a long, long time.
My name is Lee Forster. I'm a board member at the Supporters Trust, have been since August 2021. My role at NUST is very similar to the rest of the board. Effectively, we are a group of people who represent around about 15,000 Supporters Trust members, and our role primarily is to represent the 15,000 members when it comes to Newcastle United, liaising with the club, trying to give the fans representation, make sure that their voices are heard. As such, we deal with issues from ticketing, match day experience, to even overseas purchases from the club shop. So it's really, really varied. Everything on a daily basis. We get inquiries from all over the world, and it's just really as a port of call for fans to go to if they've got a challenge, if they've got an issue, if they've got a question, and they don't feel they're getting the answers from the football club. The supporters had no say in who took over our club. That's for billionaires to thrash out in boardrooms using solicitors and what have you. I'm prepared to give the new owners every opportunity to show that they can be what I would class as good custodians of the club. If they run the club in a sound, professional manner, making sensible decisions, engaging the fans, I'll be quite happy with that. In comparison to what we've had for the past 14 years, so far what we've seen has been night and day. Mike Ashley had no interest in the success of Newcastle United or the fans. So yeah, I think I'm prepared to give the owners a chance, but at the same time I will expect the owners to be held to account if they don't deliver on what they've said they're going to try and achieve. Season ticket holder, so I go to every single home game. Away games are far more difficult for me because we train with my boys on a Saturday morning, and that means I find it difficult to go on longer away trips. If we have a game on a Sunday and it clashes with my Phoenix FC team, I do actually get another coach to take the team on that day because my lad would simply not allow us to miss a Newcastle home game. I was born and bred in a place called Walker, and it was a hugely working class. It was almost tribal. It was like Newcastle, you were Newcastle. I remember a situation with my granddad once. Jokingly, I said to him at his dining table, "Grandad, I'm going to support Sunderland." And he was a big strappy man, about 6'4", and he literally picked me up from the dining table. I must have been 7 or 8 years old. Picked me up from the dining table, opened the front door, sat me on the front doorstep and told me I was never allowed back in his house. And I cried. I cried like a baby because I was joking, but I thought he was serious. Bank holiday Monday 1983 was the only game I ever went to with my dad. My dad was in the Leazes and he got me a ticket in the benches, which is smack bang next to the Leazes in the old ground, obviously. And I remember walking in, I went down to the pitch side track and grabbed some gravel, and I put the gravel in my pocket and kept that gravel for years. I don't have it now, unfortunately. And I remember looking along to the Gallagher end and thinking, wow, I want a part of that. And that was the only time I ever went to the benches. The very next game I was in the Gallagher end, and I never moved from the Gallagher end since. It was just the feeling, everything about that day just felt right. Everything felt right. The first game I took my boy to was Southampton. I think it would have been 2013. I never forced him into football. I always made a conscious decision to, if he was going to enjoy football, he was going to enjoy it because he wanted to enjoy it. I got strict instructions. He wanted to be as close to the pitch as he possibly could be, because he wanted to see his heroes. And so we got tickets literally at the front of the Leazes end, literally behind the goal. Unfortunately, we got treated to a brilliant game that day. Newcastle won 4-2. Papi Cissé scored a 30-yard dipping volley, that one of those volleys that hits the crossbar and then bounces down, which always looked really, really special, into the goal in the Leazers that we were just behind. I remember that Southampton game, just looking down at it and thinking, I remember how I felt when I took in my first game, and how it was just like all of this noise, and there's a certain smell. Once you're in, you can smell the grass when you walk into it. In your first game, when you walk into that stadium and you see that big patch of green turf in front of you, just the feelings that sort of engulf you. I mean, there's this whole feeling of positivity and pride in the club again. Everybody's proud of Newcastle again. And that was one thing that I really missed, the city being proud of its football club. And I'm just so pleased that my son, to be able to go through this period of Newcastle United sort of resurrection, if you like, with my son. I mean, I'll be sat at work and I get text message after text message after text message off my son. Dad, are we going to sign this player? Who's injured for this weekend? What do you think formations are? What have you? And it's just, whilst he was really in love with Newcastle United prior to feeling like we've got our club back, to say that he's in love with it now would be an understatement. He's borderline obsessive about Newcastle. And it's just a great thing to be able to share. It's a great thing to be able to share with him. When I'm at St James's with him, it just feels right. It just feels right. I mean, if I went to him at any other part of the week and said, give me a hug, he's 17 years old, I would get the standard 17-year-old response. Go away, Dad. Newcastle United score at St James's Park or an away game, and we just naturally hug. It's just a reaction. He hugs me, I hug him. We both make probably guttural noises that we didn't realise we were capable of, and it just feels right. It's just, when you're there, I probably don't appreciate it as much when I don't think about it while I'm there. But now that you've asked me the question, yeah, it just feels like everything's right and we are where we should be.